In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw trend lines. Before we begin, please take your time to like and subscribe my videos so that I can continue to educate you in how to trade and how to invest. Now, why would you want to know how to set trend lines? Well, as an investor or a trader, we like trend lines because we can determine if something is undersold or overvalued, or where there might be some sort of a reaction in the price. Before you now, you can see SPY, and if you would have drawn a trend line between these two lows, you would have been able to predict the future for this bounce to happen. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. Okay, let's start with a random stock. Today I'm having BEST. When we look at the stock, this is what it has been doing. It is not really telling us a lot of information at the moment, but by using a trend line, we will add to the analysis. The point of a trend line is that we want to have it hit as many tops or bottoms as possible. Let's start by using this and drawing it down, slowly adjusting it so that we can see, right? See, we can do this. We can adjust this a little bit like that. I mean, we might even here. So you can see how I'm trying to get them as close as possible. One line is respected here, here, almost here, 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 and here again. And then finally now it is not respecting that line anymore, right? So a trend line is a line that shows you what the trend is. So this line is a downwards pointing trend line. So we know that the stock is going down because it holds underneath it. Now that we have finally broken through this trend line, that means that this downtrend is no longer valid. Does that mean the stock is going to go up? Maybe. Does that mean the stock is going to sideways? Maybe. Does that mean the stock is going to continue to go down? Maybe. We don't know yet. What we do know is this trend is broken. What we can be looking for is for a continuation. Usually you have a downtrend, and then you have a side trend, and then you have an uptrend. So now we're looking for a sideways consolidation. There is no knowing in how long this will take, but this is an area where some people will be buying because they think it's going to go up because the downtrend is broken. Next up, I have drawn on multiple trend lines. This is the popular stock Apple. We have a trend line that's drawn on here because we have all these levels being respected. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, we have 6 times it's been respected. And on the top side, we have a different trend line. It's not as strong because it's been respected less times. We have 1, we have 2. On the 3rd time, it actually broke through. What do you think this means? This means that the uptrend is still intact and the downtrend is not intact, meaning we're looking for a move to go further up. Now you start to see that these trend lines are giving us more information than the chart would have originally been showing us. Before, after. There's way more information to be had here. Next, let's look at Google. Let's take a trend line. Started here on the bottom. Try to draw it up, right? It's not as clean from here, so we want to have it here. Okay. Here we can see a trend line. We see it being respected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? It's the same on the top. Start here and see how many times you can get it to be respected. 1, 2, 3 times, right? This is what we like to call rising consolidation. The reason why this is important is because a lot of traders are looking at these trend lines to see if they want to stay in a trade or get out of the trade. right? So before we had the COVID-19 sell-off, we were actually in a upsloping trend with Google, right? It respected, started here, 1, 2, and then the third time it actually fell below it. At this point, a lot of people will be getting out because the uptrend is broken. Now we're looking at Exxon. Exxon also has two different trend lines that are closing in on each other, right? So we have this upper trend line, which has 1, 2, 3, 4 times where it's been respected, and the bottom trend line, which has 1, 2, 3 times been respected. So this means that now we can see this stock will need to be making a decision at some point. Either it needs to break this trend line or this trend line. Depending on that, there will be a lot of traders looking for that, trying to see where the stock is going. Just like Apple just broke out of the top side of the pattern, where we had bottom trend line and a top trend line, Tesla broke outside of the top pattern and then continued to have this huge move up. We can use these trend lines, big and small. Here is an example of a small one. We have a small trend and a small trend, and as soon as it broke to the upside, it continued to move up. Question, wonder why this stalled right here and didn't continue to go to the moon? Check the trend lines. This trend is important because it's been respected so many times. It was kind of iffy here, but respected, broke through it, and then came back up. Even though it is broken, it is still being respected. Here we're looking at Plug Power. Plug have had an amazing year, and then it fell hard, right? So it created a down-sloping trend line once it was falling. We drew a line in. As soon as we broke through the trend line, it came back down, and guess what? It got respected when it got hit, and that was the bottom. Now we're looking at these two trend lines, looking to see which one is going to break. We have this upper trend line, we have this bottom trend line. If Plug Power breaks to the upside, we'll most likely see a move further to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, we'll see continuation in this big selling, and we're going to have to look for new patterns. Hopefully that was helpful. You can use trend lines on all charts and they will most likely be respected. Like always, trend lines are an indication of where the stock is going. They are not a guarantee. So be cautious, but use the information and you will be a lot better at investing.